So let's see if this is working, because it's always the same thing. As I said, Firewire doesn't like the
like Windows.
Is it 2 or is it? I never know which signal it is. That one.
Okay.
And we have now,
Yeah.
I think, that is the reflection of this, this white. There, it is.
Sacar la ventana.
No.
And this, I think it is the reflection of this one, or it is
From that side.
From glasses?
this
That side.
From glasses? Yeah.
It's from this
Sun reflection.
No?
No.
It's from this side.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
No.
Yes. Very good. So what I try to do is, if you see some children's at the back of my screen, these are my grandchildren. Just, so this is my wife, and these are our 2 grandchildren. They live in Singapore, and therefore I have to go twice a year to Singapore. So I open my Vision Cats. Oh, here it's already open, that's fun. Oh, here not. Here it is open. Okay,
Yes, you have to.
let's do it like that.
Okay.
So, let's go there. So, okay, here we have Vision Cats, and now we have already the first problem we see down here.
Easy connection.
There is a visualizer, but this little block, which is not blocked, is a sign that it is not correctly connected. So this is very good. So we have already a first impression what problem we could have, because this is the usual problem with the visualizer. You don't connect to the software somehow. So it's a little difficult with a lot of instruments up here. So I go into the control panel in the hardware manager or device manager code. And here usually I see somewhere is the IEEE board, and underneath that there is an imaging device, and there should be a Baumer FCI. As I know now already my computer quite well, I see that the problem is I just have one IEEE control. I have a small IEEE on backside there, but it's a 4-port which is not working, because we need a 6-port with power for the camera. So therefore I use this adapter here, this PC card adapter, but as it seems the PC card adapter is not recognized, so I have to unplug it again, and plug it again, and see if it is working, hopefully. Sometimes I also help if I scan from you. And now you see there is a second one.
Yes.
And you see here the Baumer optronic camera. So now the instrument is visible. still I
Uh-huh.
don't have here the connection.
Mhm.
I don't know why. So what I can do is I can go into Vision
Okay.
Cats. We will see that later on. It's just about, but we will see how to.
Settings.
I can go into general settings,
And doesn't
and
recognize.
here I see another thing. I see
No.
COM port
Mm.
3 in error, but no other COM ports. So this is the hardware COM port error that we have here.
You are not connecting this.
Yeah, very good. Yes, see that. So what this was now is he sees the camera, but he doesn't see the instrument.
Mhm.
So therefore,
Yes.
it is not connected.
Ah, okay.
So what we need in Vision Cats is we need both
Mhm.
the Firewire connection to the camera
Mhm.
and the serial connection
Mm.
to the.
You have to refresh.
Best would be to close it and
And
to
open
it.
reopen it. So
And
very good.
that's it.
Now we see still
No connection.
no instrument.
Mhm.
Why that? For that we have to know Windows a little bit better. Bill Gates likes to to make it difficult for all the people. If Windows recognizes an error on a COM port, it says, "Oops, something is wrong. Shut down all COM ports."
Mm.
So if I disable now this one, and maybe we have to. You see also this little asterisk there, this little star here. Says me always, okay, the settings are not saved, so I have to save them first. And now it is gone. There.
Mhm.
Okay.
So let's see if that helps.
No.
So it doesn't help.
You have to activate it. Maybe you're
No,
right now?
it's not. The COM3 is the physical COM port in here. So the 2, 6, 5, and 10 are the ones
So-
made by the.
Okay.
By us. But so I'm running out of ideas. Shit.
Control
But
panel.
it is very, very good. So we see already.
Says
what's-
advice manager make something wrong in the COM ports.
Yeah, exactly. The thing is most likely that this COM port 3, there is no COM port 3.
No.
It's
No COM port
interesting,
3 here.
2, 5.
The thing is that the error that we have seen here let's see if we still have this error.
This off?
No.
The instrument is off.
Yes.
Very good idea.
That's right.
But
So-
that's
We made it all together. I think it is really a good example. So what could have been also is that if there is an error, not only Vision Cats is seeing that, it's showing us also Windows is. But I still have a problem. I don't see
The camera.
the camera,
Mhm.
or the instrument is not connected. The thing is, there is it is shown no camera linked.
This one's okay.
So this could be, as I said before, either it's before 2010, or more likely with this instrument, we changed the camera at some point. So what we have to do is I have to open here this window. So just click on it,
Put the
and then
sometimes it doesn't work. I have that problem.
one. Now it's green, and it should over here. We have a second visualizer because this visualizer here is another visualizer. So this one is. Do not. There is a different format of the serial number now. We have this at the end. We have 3 zeros. The reason for that is that the old camera here has a 10-digit serial number. The new one has 13 digits. So therefore we made already the reservation of the space for the new serial number. But old instruments or old cameras, they will be shown in first the old serial number and then you have 3 zeros. So maybe the customer is telling you something like this is the serial number and then there are a lot more figures there should be, but that's okay. So it is just because of the visualizer 2. And with that now I can double click the instrument and then I'm on the manual control, so if I double click on the instrument I can say I see here the properties, so I see the serial number, I see the firmware, I see the camera with the serial number, I see the camera firmware which has to be 1.9.0 for Windows 7 and newer installations. Then the lens, I have to choose which lens, 16 or 12 millimeters. And then new is also the filter version. There is a filter version 1 and a filter version 2. This will be in future for the visualizer 2. There will be another filter used, and therefore we made already there we made for future use if we would have to choose to change the filter. We made that. If you go to the information, let me see. There are 3 filters in. So as it is a visualizer 1, you have just the first 2. So it is the metal ring with thick and a metal with a metal ring thin. So there were 2 different filters. There were no difference in image also. It was a question of we had to source from another company, and they were different to see how from external.
But the filters are going to give us another information, or why the filters? Because with the Vision Cats 2.1 you don't have the filters.
No, you don't have, because the thing is now with the Visualizer 2, there you have a completely different filter than with the Visualizer 1. And so we had, the thing is a bit that Vision Cats does not distinguish between Visualizer 1 or Visualizer 2. It's just, there is a visualizer.
Yes.
So we have to make the software for all 3, for all 2 visualizers, we have to make them compatible at the same window. So therefore, if you have a visualizer 2, then you need to set this to
the version 2.
the 3, to the filtered number 3. Here now at the moment, because it is not fully, so the visualizer 2 is implemented in the next version of Vision Cats. So around in October or so there will be a new version of Vision Cats. The only thing is some bug fixing and Visualizer 2 implementation.
In October.
In October, yeah.
So if you have a Visualizer 1, you have to select the
2 or 1, but the difference is I have to talk with the IT guys. There's no difference in the image. So if you choose 1 or 2, there is no difference. And if you have to choose something with no difference, that's what for.
The filter is inside the camera, or
it is the filter on the lens.
Okay.
So this
Okay.
the filter
Okay.
that you see here, the,
Uh-huh.
the last ring here, that is
Okay.
this filter.
Eso es solamente para registro, para tenerlo documentado.
And
Pero no es algo que
yeah, this is the manual, the properties.
This is his telling something like maybe it's okay. This thing for selecting the filter is for documentation only, or why? You
The
put
thing is
the
that in Visualizer 2, it is a difference.
okay.
But with Visualizer 1 now, it has no difference.
Okay.
So therefore, it doesn't make a lot of sense right now.
Uh-huh.
As soon as you have the Visualizer 2, it makes sense. But I have to talk anyway, I have to talk about version 1 and 2. If there is no difference between version 1 and 2, and the difference is only the thickness of the ring.
Uh-huh.
So therefore maybe we can leave that away. Then the manual control. So here we can actually choose illumination on the side. So here on the side you can choose the illumination. So we can go to remission white and start. And now it is a clever tool. It says the door is open. It doesn't see that the top is not on, but it sees that the door is open. So okay, I start.
Light in white.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you have selected there.
Ah, okay, claro.
And now you see no problem. You don't have an image. No picture. So, but everything is okay. So this is a classical thing of power
drivers.
and firewire. If I add a new camera to an already existing system, sometimes the drivers need to be newly installed. That's very good. So we can go through that as well, because this is also a very important thing on. So this you have to do a lot of times if you work with Visualizer. So the camera is always the Baumer Optronic Camera FCAM. It's very important that it is FCAM. If it is FCAM2 or FFM or something like that, this is wrong, it won't work with that.
Okay.
It has to be FCAM. The reason for that is our software is looking for FCAM. If there is another camera, it says, oh, I don't care. There is another camera, and it won't work. Now, really important is always Windows. As I don't like Bill Gates. You already maybe you heard that, but you heard it out from my comments. But as I said, they don't want to make it that easy. So therefore, if you just update the driver, it will take from somewhere, I don't know where, some drivers that Windows is thinking that they are okay, but for sure they are not okay. So you have to manually choose that. So I go to right mouse click to the camera, update driver and software. Here for sure, browse my computer. Then here, best would be, let me pick from a list. And here now, it is tempting to say, oh, that's a right driver, let's do that.
No.
The thing is that this list down here is also taken from just the best place where. So you're not sure if this is really the right driver. It is the driver for this camera for sure, but you don't know if it's really the driver that we need. The reason for that is if you have a WinCats 140, so a real old version of WinCats, the drivers were different. And sometimes you have this problem that you take a newer driver and an old WinCats version and it's somehow not working. So therefore, if you have an older version, take the CD and on this CD there are the correct drivers for this version. Sometimes it is working, sometimes not. It's really not something that you can predict. So therefore, don't choose one of these. Say, have a disk, and then browse to your CD drive usually. I'm browsing now to a local drive where we have our drivers, service, products, vision cats. Wrong, it's not vision cats.
Esto es muy común, ¿no? Es muy, muy común.
So here I have the camera driver for Baumer. I know this is 64-bit, the camera and the INF is the driver. I open this, and most likely it looks the same, but I'm really not sure if it is this one or is it an old one from WinCat's version, so therefore I really go there. Also, if I click now on this one, it tells me this drive is not digitally signed, and luckily Bill Gates is careful for us, so we can't install, with Windows 7, we can't install drivers that are not digitally signed. So all producer of any product that would like to connect to Windows computers have to go to Windows and say, hey, please digitally sign me this driver. And they make an awful amount of money from out of that. But anyway, okay, I go to that, then next, and now it is installing. Windows has finished installing the driver software for this device, okay. You must restart your computer, and I love where, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so it's restarting. So this is really one thing that it is, I see really a lot all over the world. This FireWire and Windows is really giving us headache. Therefore also we changed to, anyway, FireWire is dying, so the alternative would be go to Thunderbolt, but also there it's already, we are not sure, so we said, okay, USB 3 is for sure for the next some years is a valid connection, so therefore we said, okay, let's don't do some specific special task or something. But that was a really good example how it could be. So first the COM ports, then the FireWire port, and then the camera was recognized, and then we forgot to switch on, or I forgot to switch on the unit. Also, don't check my password, now you have seen it, 3 points, 5 points. So this is a typical thing that is normal for a visualizer or for the FireWire. It is not typical visualizer, it is the FireWire port with Windows. Also that, so all the drivers, the latest drivers are ready to download on the homepage. So this is really something that if you are at the customer side and you have troubles and you have somehow access to internet, is always the task. Last week I was with a customer in Germany, and they had, their system was completely shielded from outside. The USBs were disconnected, it was a closed network, no internet, nothing, I couldn't download something. Luckily, just the only thing they forgot, I think, was the CD. There was a CD burn inside. So all the files and everything I had to burn on CD, then put in the CD, then and also if I wanted to get out of the, and then there was one file which was bigger than normal CD was, and then I had a yeah, but that is a restriction. I'm sure you all know these stories about restrictions, and so therefore. So let's see if if this solves the problem.
Sí.
So here is the instrument. Oh. Seems not-
Mm.
Oh. Check if there's something here. Oh, strange.
It's hang up. No.
No,
Hang up.
but
It's strange.
yeah, I can go down. Yeah, I can't go down.
Mm.
Something in the Vision Cat version?
Two,
It's not hang up.
This is 2.2, but the reason I was looking here is I wanted to check the second visualizer, but I can see the second visualizer, and
How are these icons not active?
there's nothing is active here. Just the
Just
previous.
previous next to
Yeah.
it. This is strange. I think we should keep wing cats. More time. Maybe until finish development Vision Cat.
He's going to kill you. And I think that the IT equipment also.
Hmm.
If you also update the driver for the connection for the firewall,
Maybe I have to.
Pero lo he reconocido.
The visualizer has still a yellow sign on the visualizer. So
Yeah, the yellow sign is just that the diagnostics is not made.
diagnostic.
So the yellow, reopen that and show you. So the triangle, the yellow is just that there is no diagnostics, no valid diagnostics.
you can run it.
Here,
Yeah.
this sign
This one.
shows just that there is
Diagnostic.
no diagnostics. The connection is shown here
Yes,
down.
this
down
one,
here.
yes, give.
So
And this for visualizer too.
Yeah.
The first one for visualizer too. Yeah.
yeah. So let me see. So the one thing is usually you just need to update the driver of the camera, but it could also be that
The driver from the firewall.
the card itself here needs to update the driver. So